really excited to hear about everybody's service projects this afternoon. And we're going to take the hit for you by going first. I know everybody's a little bit nervous, but just remember that absolutely everybody has to speak today, so everybody's in the same boat, including me, really nervous. So back last summer, we noticed a sudden influx of refugees in a particular area in Cardiff, from all over really, but mostly North Africa, Syria, and then Iraq and Iran. So we have seen about 2,000 refugees every month coming into Cardiff, and we're quite a small city. There's quite a lot of things to deal with, and we realised that there was kind of a segregation going on. The guys who were coming over, and they were being housed temporarily before they went to court to see if they could get refugee status. Our main objective really was to give reassurance to both sides, the residents of Cardiff and all of our new potential citizens. So we wanted to give reassurance and to also integrate the community, because it was really stuffy how, it was a really strange atmosphere for a while.
We use the PeaceJam program, as Jamie said before, and we focus mostly on the identity and difference part. I'm sorry, I'm quite nervous. I'm just gonna use Rigoberta's 3 questions that she gave us, especially for the identity and difference that we teach the refugees from Syria and elsewhere. So she said who they are, so we have to ask them who they are, where they're from, and where they want to go. And these 3 main questions really are quite helpful, because as we said, we're from Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, everywhere, and we have to use different languages as Arabic, Farsi, is Eritrean, even we had to use sign language once. We also tackle questions that they ask between myself, Jamie, and Alison, such as gender issues when they come to the UK, like how do we interact, what should we do, what should we not do. So that's really exciting. We love talking to them. So I'm going to hand it to Alison about the end results that we want.
Right. So as we said, sometimes we're working in 5 languages. We've had deaf and dumb in the room. We've had people with disabilities, mental, physical. We've even had a pregnant woman fall on the ground, and I was told to assist her because I was the only woman in the room. Every week is different. So working in these languages, also not knowing the background, the education, and having worked for many years with young people and having lived and worked in East Africa as a missionary, specialising in HIV/AIDS in the bush, I tend to use picture language. So there's a picture that I give to them, and it's an analogy of trees. And a tree is defined by the roots. The branches and the fruit are defined by the roots. And the roots can be where they were born, what their faith is, their parents, their education, their social upbringing, opportunities, etc., etc. That all define that tree and its fruit as true for each of us. So what I'm trying to tell to you is that it is difficult. Every week is difficult. We don't know what's going to happen. So that's why we want to put it under Rotary. But more importantly, this will float your boat. We need to cement the relationship between Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland and internationally with PeaceJam. And they need to recognise that we have all these wonderful tools and can do all these wonderful things. Thank you.
Thank you. We are volunteering in our school to help and to provide opportunities for new people to learn and read English, also helping the teachers translating English to Arabic, as well as helping her reading and the way she spells English and the way she writes English. I'm also, as well as I'm her friend, so she can ask me questions. I can sort her problems if she has one. So I'm actually close to her. even though I have been speaking English for only 3 years, I haven't been speaking English for a long time, but I'm still helping people because I've been experienced a lot in these 3 years. So I'm really feel happy to help other people and give them happiness and give them strength to face a new community.
I chose to do this because I came here now. I have 1.5 years since I came in this country, so I know how difficult it is. I know they have friends, they can't talk to their friends. They might be lonely, so I'm trying my best. I'll use my body language. I use everything just to talk to them. Yeah, just to make them happy. He's from Syria. He came he didn't have he came here, but he didn't have that much education because I think we all know Syria is Syria. He missed school a lot. Now if you try to teach him something, he will make sure he gets it. And if you read a book with him, if there's word he doesn't know, he's not going to let you read the book until you explain the word, and he makes sure it is in his head.
We're Fort Hill, and our school, like many others, collected for the annual shoebox campaign. Our students, staff and wider community all helped to collect items for the shoeboxes.
We were also able to help raise the profile of the campaign amongst the local public. In addition, we were lucky enough to help the Rotary of Basingstoke and Dean to sort the boxes ready for shipping.
Another event that we took part in is we did a disabled sports day, which we called Disport. We helped out with catering and marshalling for the disabled people. We also helped with arranging the games for them and just making them a really enjoyable day so that they could have a day out in the sun, and it was a really nice weather as well. So.
We're also in our school we have a Rotary club, so that's how we meet and do what we do. Another event that we helped out was with Shelter Box. We collected money from the public in our local shopping mall, and we just talked to them about we were collecting money for Nepal and from the recent earthquake, and it was for Shelter Box, which is a foundation which my friend will tell you.
We raised £590, which is enough to send one whole shelter box to a family in Nepal. And it included a tent, sleeping bags, cooking facilities, and essential items to support a whole family. So there was water filtration as well, which isn't on here, but it was in there.
We ran a week's worth of lunchtimes crafting sessions leading up to Remembrance Day. Where students made felt poppy brooches, which we sold at school, raising money for the British Legion.
By the way, Rigoberta, I love your style. So, in our school, we collected food, clothes, and shoes to create care packages for homeless people and disadvantaged people of Basingstoke. And we delivered 24 large boxes to local hostels.
In the future, we are keen to help the refugees currently arriving in Greece, and also to show and support our Greek friends trying to help in a tough situation. We are hoping to work with Cause for Kindness to make this all happen.
And thank you to Rotary for funding us to come here today.
Thank you.
We're from an organisation called the GFA, which stands for the Guatemalan Family Association. And what we do is we get gatherings for all those children from Guatemala and the families who adopted us. And we have events where we all get together, we see each other, we talk about how we feel, we just meet, and we raise money for Guatemala and the education.
Okay, so following on from education, with Guatemala, we do lots of fundraising, so lots of hikes and cake sales and things like that. And one of the charities which I personally work for is called Common Hope. And last year I went back to Guatemala, and I was really pleased to see that we actually raised enough money to get a library for the children. with loads of books and toys for them to play with.
I've got a sponsor child out in Guatemala, up in the mountains. And whenever we go and give money and we help build the buildings for their education in school. And up there, as Isabel was saying, they don't all necessarily know Spanish because they all have their separate identities and languages. And it was really nice for me and my mum and some of the people from the GFA and Plan, when we went up, we saw the school was a lot more developed than it had been. They had libraries, they had stationery, they had teachers and the books to work from. What we'd like to do in the future with our GFA, we're planning to do hikes and walks and sponsored events to get money to help with the more education.
Hi everybody, we are Kafili Youth Forum, and Kafili Youth Forum is a youth-based project aiming for young people between the ages of 11 and 25. And we work towards making sure that young people have a voice against issues that affect them, and we'll help them enable decision makers to hear them. One of the main projects that we've been working on, which is our active piece, is all around healthy and unhealthy relationships and domestic abuse, and just to raise awareness with young people to know the difference between a healthy and unhealthy relationship, to give them the warning signs, the cycle of it, and to let them know where they can go, who they can turn to if they find themselves in that situation. We've also done a curriculum packed around domestic abuse, so young people can do a curriculum plan which will help them to understand it more and to help them understand that if you are stuck in a situation like that, you don't need to be stuck. There is ways to get out. We've also worked with Llamai and Women's Age, which is Welsh women's refuge centres where women will go to flee the situation that they're in at home. We also did packs which included festival bands with helpline numbers on. We also did leaflets that were sent around schools, youth projects, youth services, anywhere that young people attend. We also did posters, and we worked with Welsh Government to promote and make an animation around domestic abuse and unhealthy relationship.
So us four worked together as the first project, and for our project we chose racism, and we raised awareness through teaching younger students. For example, we told them to make sure that they smile at everyone and that they mustn't ever leave anyone out. We did this as we feel that they can avoid the mistakes of the people in the past, and that the younger they learn about racism, the better. So we presented them with a basic movie that we put together, and then we spoke about racism, its definition, and even though they're little, what they can do to help. We then finished with an idea that we had about making our own hashtag and doing drawings that match this.
Okay, so for this, we wanted to make a difference by getting them all involved, from the junior school. So we designed our own piece of paper with our hashtag on, hashtag whatever colour, which is just up there. So we asked them to do a picture or words, anything to do with racism, that came into the head when we said the word. They all did really, really amazing pictures, and they were really, really good. So we just want to say thank you to Miss Smart and Miss Charters for taking the pictures.
The main reason we chose racism is such a global problem, but not that many people are aware of it, especially the younger generation. I find in this day and age with Snapchat, Instagram, and many other ways to spread awareness, that is not done very well, and that we hope as representatives for this generation that we could try and create a world for the younger generation to go into, and be able to not be judged by their colour of their skin or their religion.
We think racism is wrong because why should we discriminate people or be mean to someone because they come from a different religion or they're a different race? We shouldn't. That's why we decided as a group to raise awareness about racism.
As Rigoberta mentioned yesterday, we all have an energy, and it's by combining these energies and having unity of these energies that peace can be achieved. So on a smallest scale, I was a part of an event called ISSP, and my social action project included raising money for IDAS, which is Independent Domestic Abuse Services in York.
Yeah, and I was a part of a group that involved people from all over York from different schools, and yeah.
Hello, so our group aimed to raise awareness of dyslexia in York, where our school is. We began to build up our knowledge on dyslexia by interviewing our school teachers who specifically supported dyslexic students. And by that, we recognised that the main issue in Britain is the lack of funding to the expensive assessments and screening of the students with dyslexia. And when knowing that, we definitely wanted to further continue on with our project.
I specifically interviewed one of my closest friends with dyslexia, and her opinions towards the society view was that there are great supports in Britain, and she is fortunate to treat equally in class and not being discriminated towards her learning abilities. However, she did mention that the assessments were too expensive.
Then we began our action in York ISSP, where a group of secondary school students came together to launch practical activities in bringing 1 billion acts of peace. We did a bake sale in order to fundraise for Dyslexia Action Organisation, and the money which we raised we donated to buy special reading glasses and to support those who can't afford the expenses.
And then we further wanted to think globally, because our own countries, South Korea and Hong Kong, didn't actually support students with dyslexia as much as they did in the UK. And for instance, I wasn't completely aware of what dyslexia was before I came to the UK. So for this, we wanted to further carry on.
To find out general opinions in our society, I conducted a survey to collect data of different people's understanding of dyslexia. Interestingly, most people vaguely knew what dyslexia was, but wasn't particularly sure in how they affect socially and academically. Most people agreed in bringing in dyslexia supports in schools, which was promising, but there were some people who disagreed as they thought it was unfair to other students in the class. By this, we recognize that the key aspect to make a difference is to tackle people's hearts and minds, and this could be done effectively with the help of powerful authorities.
So after that, we decided to write a letter to the education department of our respective of the governments of our respective countries, and then we pledged for them to raise awareness and urge the government to provide more funding and support to the people with this learning disability. We got an auto reply, that was good, and through participating in this social action project, we learned that we are very fortunate to receive what we're receiving today.
We also realized that the social media is an exceptionally powerful way to get messages across to different people, and its impact on the society that is unimaginable.
So for our project, we decided we also wanted to work with the young, and we went and taught a lesson to them about Rigoberta and about the Mayan people.
We mainly focused on the culture of the Mayan people and what a loss it would be, and also to other cultures if the kind of cultures within countries were lost. So they all wrote their names in Mayan hieroglyphics, and we looked at pictures of cultural costumes and stuff like that so they could get to see what they would be losing out on if we kind of discriminate against people.
The whole class was really excited to learn about Rigoberta and how she helped the Mayan people and brought about change in her country.
So we had students from all over York coming together, and they were in groups of about 6 to 8 students with a college mentor and a university mentor from the University of York. The aim was getting children across York together to engage in a social action project. We had quite a lot of different objectives. So we had LGBT awareness. My group, we focused on raising awareness of how important natural resources are, such as water. So we got some water from the Ouse, which is the river in York, and we filtered it and we drank it and we offered it to all the other people who were there on the day, because we put our projects all on the York Residents' Day, so other people could come and see what we'd done as well. And we offered them the chance to drink this water from the Ouse, and everyone did, and it was a lot of fun. We all learnt a lot in the process, I think we'd all agree. And it was also nice to meet other people from around York that we wouldn't otherwise have met. And we all had a lot of fun, and we all learnt a lot of useful skills from it.
on the 29th of April 2016, Molly and I are going to be carrying out a Day Without Hate at our school. The Day Without Hate all began after the Virginia Tech massacre, in which 32 staff members and pupils were killed in the US. Since then, pupils across the globe have been doing the Day Without Hate in their school to promote non-violence. This won the PeaceJam Global Call to Action Prize in 2013. This year, we're going to be joining them as we attempt to eradicate hate in our school. We want to educate students about where hate comes from, like racism, sexism, ageism, disputes between religions. We want to learn their experiences, how they feel about it, and teach them how they can prevent it.
Hi everybody, we're from Bowlia in Jersey. So I'm Holly, this is Ellie, Evie, and that's Christy hiding over there. Just like to thank the Rotary for sponsoring us for our participation here at PeaceJam, and just thank Rigoberta, just say it's an honour to be here, and obviously the whole team at PeaceJam. Thank you to Luke, this wouldn't be possible without them. So basically, if you just look at the slides, what we do is each winter we go over to Romania. Sixth form students and staff from our school travel there to help the poorest of the poor. And we take blankets, warm clothes, baby supplies, shoes, and over 2,500 shoe boxes filled with Christmas treats and basic necessities for people of all ages. All are wrapped as Christmas gifts and donated, and for many children and elderly, this is the only present they will receive throughout the holidays.
Seeing the things that we donate to help those in Romania is absolutely incredible. The people that the girls meet and help are so thankful even when they have absolutely nothing, and it just makes us think what we all take for granted and we don't even realise it. Like right now, we're in an amazing university, whereas some people in Romania have nothing. They're people that have no food. There are homeless people that just sit by the heating pipes of big transnational corporations just to keep themselves warm at night, and some people live in mud huts with no food, no clothes, and people wear summer clothes, even in the winter, just to keep, because they don't have anything else to wear. So while the team are in Romania, they distribute essential items, so like wood, warm clothes, and provide non-perishable foods to desperate villagers, so it's not going to run out. They also bring craft activities to help with school children, and they organise fresh bread for communities who queue up for hours just to get this loaf of bread once a week.
It's a very rewarding experience to have some of our girls from Bowlia witness firsthand the small acts of kindness which have such a huge impact on our lives. We as a school work in cooperation with Mustard Seed and Caritas, and we raise enough money to fund local projects in Romania, like new roofs, basic cookers, classrooms and school supplies. This is all student-led. However, instead of just raising money, we hope to continually impact their lives in other ways. This year, we are setting up collection banks, collecting essential items such as sanitary towels, nappies, shoes, clothes and stationery. We are also in the process of setting up a pen pal system to enable Jersey students to have a personal link with Romanian children, which we hope will encourage a better understanding between cultures. And as Aung San Suu Kyi once said, peace does not mean putting an end to violence or to war, but to all other factors that threaten peace, such as discrimination, inequality and poverty.